Namaste. Welcome to our yoga practice. My name is Marissa Segundo, and today we're going to practice yoga. So find a space in or out, inside or outside of your home, where you can roll out your mat, let the world slip away, and focus on you and your body in this moment. So we start, you can also pick any type of music that is calming and complements your yoga practice. So we always begin our yoga practice with the first Yoga Sutra, Hatha Yoga Anushasanam, which means now we begin yoga. Join in if you'd like. Hatha Yoga Anushasanam. And please join me in the sound and vibration of Om. Inhaling to prepare. Just allow that Om to resonate throughout your body. And with your hands at heart center, create an intention for your practice, for your life, or for this moment. Hold that intention in your heart and then clear it from your mind as you either leave your hands at heart center or draw them along your sides, connecting thumb and forefingers. And just take this time to watch your breath. Notice how it comes in and out naturally without changing it. Notice the sensation of your breath entering into your nostrils, or however it does naturally. The temperature of your breath, the rhythm of your breath. And just be in that space and honor that. Allow your forehead to relax. Eyes to close gently or to remain focused on one single point. Allow your facial features to soften. Invite your top jaw to separate from your bottom jaw and your tongue to hang loose in your mouth. Being present, notice the breath just flowing naturally. Maybe you've already begun yogic breath, breathing in through the nose, allowing that air to travel deep into your belly, expanding your belly with air. As you exhale, collapsing your belly, allowing that air to gently travel up and out your nostrils. And just invite your day to just slip away, focusing fully on the rhythm of your breath. And even though your spine is long, just allow your body to relax. Be mindful of the rhythm of your breath. Allow that yogic breath to get more profound and conscious. As you allow waves of relaxation to start at the very tip of your spine and gently travel down to the base of your spine. Focusing fully on this moment, and if outside distractions try to sneak their way into your meditation, just tell yourself, this too I can allow, and find the rhythm of your breath once again. When you reach your next inhale, gently roll the shoulders back and down, lengthening the spine if you found any curves in the spine. Just go ahead and lengthen that. When you reach your exhale, allow your chin to travel down toward your chest as the crown of the head falls forward, lengthening the back of the neck. Shoulders still rolled back and down. Couple of breaths here before you inhale back to center. And as you exhale, elevate the chin up towards the sky, inviting the crown of the head to fall backward. You want to add a little bit of length to the front of your neck. You can place the bottom lip over the top lip. On your next exhale, gently draw the chin back to center, aligning the spine. The next time you exhale, allow the right ear to hover over the right shoulder. If you'd like to add a tiny bit of weight, you can take the right hand and place it just above the left ear, avoiding the temptation to tug or pull. Just that little bit of extra weight to find the length behind the neck. And on your next inhale, releasing the hand from the top of the head. Exhale, realign. Inhale, and allow the left ear to hover over the left shoulder. Repeat whatever motion you did on the opposite side on this side. Maybe you added your hand below you for a little bit of stability and a tiny bit of length through the side body. On your next inhale, gently draw the head back to center, removing the top hand. Placing the hands at heart center, inhale the clasped hands up over the head. Exhale down just with the right hand, reaching tall with the left, and tipping down on the right hand side for a side body stretch. Once again, you're feeling that. You're turning your heart towards the sky, feeling the length through the side body, down to the left hip. And maybe even take a moment to ground the left hip down so you feel that length throughout the body. Maybe even press into your bottom hand if that feels good. And give yourself some space to wake up. Breathe into this length you're creating on your side body. Inhale, both hands up towards the sky. Maybe find a little back bend. Before you exhale down with the left hand, inhale to reach tall with the right and tip down on the left hand side. Once again, you can press into the left lower hand. You can ground down with the right hip. Notice what's going on with your neck. Do you need to look down at your lower hands or maybe at the upper hands? Sometimes you find yourself in that weird mid space that doesn't feel comfortable. So decide what works for you. Inhale, both hands up to the sky, little back bend. Exhale, this time we're going to just bow all the way forward so our fingertips come to the earth. The fingertips come to the earth in front of us, and maybe you come onto your fingertips like a cat does, and then you can do cat claws on the earth in front of you. Lengthening the spine, pressing into the earth as if you're trying to press the earth away. We'll take our hands and start to walk them over to the right hand side, as far to the right as you can. If you have obstacles in your way, turn them into an advantage. So I've got a couch here. I'm going to just press into that with my hand and also get length through the left hand side of the body. And we'll walk our hands back to center. Inhale when we reach the center. Exhale and walk our hands over to the left hand side. Pressing into the earth, feeling length through the the right side body. And we'll inhale our hands, walking them back to center. And inhale them up to the sky. little back bend if that feels right. Circling the arms around and hands to heart center. From here, we'll go ahead and switch which foot is in front. Actually, let's lengthen our legs long in front of us. Find ourselves in Dandasana or staff pose. So through staff pose, we have a nice long length through the body. We'll just do some very quick open twists. So place our hands at heart center. Inhale with last hands up to the sky. Exhale, turn for an open twist to the left hand side. So you should feel tall and twisty, opening the heart space. Flexing the toes to make sure we're engaging through the lower body. Gaze can be over the back left shoulder. Inhale up, rotating around. As we exhale and twisting to the right hand side, gazes over the back right shoulder. Inhale the fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale and just bow forward. Hinging at the hips, reaching for our toes, but it doesn't matter if you reach your toes or not. We all have toes. We know they're there. So wherever you can grab, on your legs, on your knees, whatever feels good. All right, so from here, we'll inhale our fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, we'll start to just circle our arms around until they come to about T position. Shoulder blades come together, heart opens. Then we'll inhale up, and if your feet are starting to fall asleep and you need to switch which foot is in front, give yourself permission to do that. Hopefully they're separate than they were before the opposite foot is in front. Inhaling up with the right hand and bending the left elbow behind you. So I'm going to show you what this looks like front ways, and then I'll turn around. So our left hand is tucked behind us and reaching up towards the mid-back. The right hand is up above our head, and then we just bend at the elbow. If it feels good to connect your hands behind you, great. If you need a strap or even a tie, a man's tie or just a string, you can use that. Make sure that your neck is loose and that you're not trying to get your right ear to join the right arm. Behind you, it may look like this, where our fingertips are connecting, or it may look like this, where the lower hand is just resting on the lower back. This is a heart opener, the Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Pretty simple and good for the upper back, where shoulder blades are coming together, engaging the rhomboids. And when you're ready, you can release the grip if you have one. Rotating the left arm around, elevating the right arm up to the sky, drawing both arms back to that T position, and we'll give ourselves a big hug. And just remember which arm is on top. I put my left arm on top, so you can decide which one's on top. And then we're just going to give ourselves a back rub. So it may be a shoulder rub if your shoulders are tight. Maybe for the upper back. Maybe you want to get into your neck. Decide what works for you. Good self-care. And you can do this as long or as short a time as you want to. Just decide what works for you. And we'll open up our arms, opening up the heart. This time the left arm reaches up tall over our head. Right arm bends at the elbow, tucks behind us. Either rests at the mid-back or reaches up towards the mid-back with the fingertips. Decide what works for you. You may kind of move the neck around to adjust, but we want to make sure that our neck is not craning one way or another, that you're relaxed. You may find that you can connect more easily on one side than the other. Perfectly okay. Decide where you are in this space, and you can always work to a space that's deeper. That's why we call it a yoga practice, not a yoga perfect. So when you feel good with your Gomukrasana arms, we'll elevate up with the left arm, unravel the right arm, both arms come back to a T, and we'll give ourselves a hug on the opposite side, rounding the shoulders, separating the shoulder blades, so we have the engaging the yin and the yang with these two motions. And when you're ready, we'll give all that beautiful energy out back to the world, drawing the arms back to a T, and eventually rounding them back to Anjali Mudra or Namaste. Okay, so here we'll come onto our hands and knees. So when we're in our hands and knees position, we're going to make sure that the crease in our wrist is just below our shoulders, and our knees are just below our hips. So if you find that your knees are juxtaposed, go ahead and separate those a little bit so they can be even with your knees, or with your hips rather. Tops of the feet can be flat on the earth. And just take a moment to look at your spine and really to feel your spine, looking inward. Notice if you have any dips or bends in the spine at this point. We want to feel what a long spine feels like. When you're ready, we'll inhale and melt the heart forward, draw the shoulder blades together. You may get some engagement in the lower body, but we're really wanting the heart to melt forward and shoulder blades to come together. And the last thing that comes up is the crown of the head. Or cow pose, and if you'd like that bottom lip over the top lip, you can do that here, lengthening out the Jalahatta Bandha. Exhale, round the spine, making a C shape with your spine. Allow the head to hang forward. Press into your thumb and pointer fingers so you really get that rounding shape, that C shape in your spine. Inhale, melt the heart forward. Cow pose. Exhale and around the spine. Maybe shake the head from side to side or up and down. Inhale for cow pose. And last time, exhale for cat pose. Inhale back to center, and also decide if you want to modify your cats and cows just a little bit. Maybe you draw your hands, one hand lengthen closer towards your knees, and do a scaredy cat with the rounded spine, and a scaredy cow with our hands just a little bit closer in. So you may want to do a couple of those rotations, connecting them with your breath as you have. Then we're going to continue to walk our hands all the way forward, aligning the wrists with the shoulders before we lower down into an extended child's pose. So from our extended child's pose, our arms are long in front of us, aligned with the shoulders. The lower body, you're sinking into the lower body, and this should feel really good. Extended child's pose is a posture you can find anytime during any practice in any class, and it just helps you to reset your hips, reset your spine, reset your mind. You'll also notice with the extended child's pose, your spine is in the same position as it would be in a downward facing dog, just without your lower body elevated. So bear that in mind. And we'll elevate our hips, tuck our toes, and very slowly start to walk our way into a downward facing dog. So just walk your dog by bending opposite knees, pressing into the feet and the ankles. Maybe you're shaking your head from side to side or up and down, just allowing the neck to release. And then when you're ready, we're going to shift our weight forward. We find ourselves in a plank pose before we lower down onto our knees, then our chest, then our chin. Inhale, pressing into the hands, pressing the shoulders away from the ears, and find ourselves in either a cobra, can be in a baby cobra, or a sphinx. Decide where your lower back wants to be today. And when you're ready, we'll shift our weight, tucking our toes, shifting back to a plank pose. We're going to hold our plank just for a minute here, and we're going to walk our plank. So bending opposite knees, but just still keeping that long spine. Eventually, we're going to walk our way back to a downward facing dog. And maybe you're walking your dog, maybe you're shaking your yoga tail from side to side. Decide what works for you. I like to come onto my tippy toes and then back down onto my heels, just rocking, engaging the calves. And then eventually, we'll just walk or jump our feet in between our hands and hang out in Uttanasana, or forward fold. So while you're in forward fold, hopefully you're not adjusting your ponytail, but sometimes that happens. So while you're in Uttanasana, arms hanging forward, you can sway from side to side. Maybe you're interlocking your fingers around your big toe, or maybe you're hugging your thighs. Maybe you need to bend your knees a little bit because that's really harsh on your hamstrings. Decide what works for you. And then when you're ready, reverse swan dive up to the sky. Exhale and hands to heart center. With our hands on heart center, we'll inhale our clasped hands up over our head. Find a little back bend. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet, jumping back with the right foot. So we're in a high lunge here, followed by the left. We're back in a plank pose, hooray! Lowering down onto our knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga if you'd like. Inhale for cobra, tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the left foot, and if it doesn't want to come forward, you can hook with your left hand and kind of drag it forward. So decide what works for you. Then hop forward with the right. Reverse swan dive up to the sky. Exhale and hands to heart center. Inhale the clasped hands up over the head. Exhale, swan dive forward, just diving forward with the heart. Inhale, flat back extension. Draw the shoulder blades together and lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet, jumping back with the left foot. Hands connect to the earth, jumping back with the right. Exhale, lower down knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Tuck in the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe just take a moment here if you want to just walk your dog. And then when you're ready, jumping forward with the right foot, hook and drag if you need to, followed by the left. Reverse swan dive. Exhale and hands to heart center. Just take a moment for your first sun salutation to enjoy this. Maybe place the hands on the heart. Just feel the change in your body and energy. Connect with your breath. Inhale the clasped hands up over the head. Little back bend, maybe it's a little deeper this time. Exhale and swan dive forward. Hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet, jumping back with the right foot. Followed by the left. Lowering down knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Tucking the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the left foot, followed by the right. Reverse swan dive. Exhale and hands to heart center. Inhale the clasped hands all the way up, little back bend, maybe it's even deeper. Exhale and swan dive forward. Hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet, jumping back with the left foot, followed by the right. Lowering down, knees just in chin or chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the right foot. Then followed by the left. Reverse swan dive. Exhale and hands to heart center. Okay, so we're going to turn to the side of our mat. Open up and find a 5-pointed star. Shoulders roll back and down and come together. Shoulder blades come together in the back. And we're going to start by hinging at the hips and pausing right here with our arms out to the side and placing our hands towards the earth. Move my singing bowl. And then walk our hands forward just a little bit so we find ourselves in a wide-legged downward facing dog. So you can take this wide-legged downward facing dog wherever you want to. Maybe you want to walk your hands to the right hand side and get into the right hand side body. Maybe you want to just pause in the center. If you walk to the right, make sure you walk to the left. And walking our way back to center. Some people even like to walk their hands behind them. So decide where you want to be in this posture. And eventually, we'll bring the arms back out to the side, elevate up to the sky. Not all the way up to the sky, actually, just to T. And we'll take our right toes and point them at a 90-degree angle. Our left foot will kind of naturally be at a 45-degree angle. Hips will be squared towards the front. We will extend out our arms to a T. Shift the weight towards the front right foot. Try to lengthen through the side body. And then we'll tip down for a triangle. Understand that you can, if you need a block, if you have anything that's about block height, you can use that. You can press the back of the hand into wherever it lands on your leg. So in my case, it's my calf, and I'm just pressing into that, opening up the upper body. So we find our triangle. If you want to get a little bit of movement here, you can take the upper hand and circle it all the way around once, and then the opposite direction. So giving yourself options, or you can just pause here. Whatever works for you. Inhale up, back to center. Both toes pointed forward, and we'll hinge at the hips again and find that extended downward facing dog. This feels good. You can stay here or make any of the modifications that we did earlier. Then when you're ready, we'll elevate the arms above the head and then back to a T. This time pointing the left toes at a 90-degree angle. Right foot comes at a 45-degree angle, and we shift to the left side and dip down for a triangle. Once again, turning, squaring the shoulders, squaring the hips. If you feel like you're craning your neck, you can look down at your left foot or up at the right fingertips, decide what works for you. And if you did that motion on the other side, make sure you do it on this. Both sides. Then we'll inhale the arms back to center. and circle the hands back to Anjali Mudra. So from our wide-legged stance, we'll just draw the arms to our side and hop the feet and arms together, and then bring your hands back to Anjali Mudra. You can walk out your feet a little bit, maybe shake your hips, decide where you need to be in this moment. Maybe do a couple ankle circles, if that feels good. Okay, so we're going to do a really simple balance today. Something that you can get engaged in it's more balance for your lower body and your strengthening for your toes. I have to shift my camera just a tiny bit so you can see my toes. There we go. So, we'll place our hands at heart center and inhale our hands above our head. We'll circle them behind us and bend our knees and kind of come up onto your toes a little bit. So you're essentially in a chair pose, but balancing on your toes. Hands can be at prayer position, or they can be over your head if you really enjoy chair pose on your toes. You may find some wobbling that happens. Now, to counter this, we'll lengthen our legs and come onto our tippy toes, finding a balance point that doesn't move. So we're just kind of on the balls of our feet right now. And bending at the knees, circling the arms around. Find ourselves in a chair pose on our toes. So not on our tippy toes, but just on the balls of the feet. Inhale up, lengthening the legs, lengthening the arms, coming on to our tippy toes. Then rocking back down onto our heels and maybe lifting our toes up a little bit. And you can do this back and forth motion anytime, anywhere, realizing it is a balance. You can make it more difficult by bringing the arms over the head. Whatever works for you. Then we can place our hands, not our hands, but our feet, back down to the earth. Place our hands at heart center. Inhale to clasp hands up. Once again, we'll circle the arms around, bending at the knees, finding our chair pose. This time our feet are flat on the earth. You may find that you actually get a little bit more contact with the earth on your feet than you did before. Some people like to put their knees together for chair pose. I like to have that alignment. Circling the arms around, we find ourselves in Malasana. So we're in a very deep squat. Now, the idea is to draw the heels as close to the earth as possible, but that may take a little time. So if you need to put anything behind your foot, in the interim, if you want to practice holding a squat so you can sink into that, give yourself permission and time to do that. And then eventually we'll lower ourselves down to the earth. I always say without plopping or like a feather, but sometimes we plop and that's okay. So we'll roll our shoulders back and down and find a nice long spine. Placing our hands on our knees, lengthening the arms long in front of us. So we're grabbing onto our knees as if we're going to fall backwards. But if we were typically to fall backward, we'd round our spine and probably really roll back. With our long spine, we're engaging the core, engaging the back muscles. Shoulders roll back and down. You should feel the core engagement here. If you need a little bit more, you can place the palms up towards the sky. You need a little bit more, you can come onto your tippy toes. You need a little bit more, you can be in half boat pose or half Navasana, but half Navasana or Ardha Navasana. You can lengthen your legs for full Navasana, or you can come back down. You can get into the obliques if you like. Decide what works for you in your back and your abs in this space. And eventually we'll just lower ourselves down, using our core muscles all the way down. So we find ourselves just pausing for a moment in Shavasana or corpse pose. Connecting with the alignment that we're creating in our spine. Ankles aligned with our hips, hips aligned with our shoulders, and all of our chakras are aligned. So just take a moment to breathe in this space. From here, we'll take the soles of our feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle. If you find that this is a little bit much for your legs, you can place a pillow underneath underneath either knee. If you need a little bit more, you can place your hands on your inner thighs. You could even put a weight here, not a heavy weight, but something light. If that gives you a little bit more engagement. Connecting each toe to its mate. So you have engagement all the way down through the toes. And from here, we'll lengthen the left leg, cross the right ankle over the left knee, just above the left knee. And pause here for a moment. If you'd like, you can elevate up the left leg above the head towards the sky, and then thread the needle by placing your right hand in between and behind the left leg. So with thread the needle, we're engaging the hamstrings on the left-hand side. You can flex the left foot if you want to be a little bit more engagement, or you could also point the left toes, or even do ankle circles if that feels right to you. If you circle one way, make sure you circle the other. If you need more engagement, you can, in the sciatic, you can draw the leg in closer towards the body. And when you're ready, we will let go of the left leg. Allow that to lower down if you want to use your abs all the way down, just lowering it down slowly. Or you can flop if you need to. Lengthening both legs out, maybe even bounce out the knees a bit. Then cross the left ankle over the right knee or just above. Decide what works for you.